Sorry. I decided to make some tea and then my pot took forever to boil. I was like, come on now. You're an electric kettle. You're supposed to be fast. What is happening? How are you?
I'm good. I just woke up 20 minutes ago.
There you go.
Ready to relax today because I worked my ass off driving the past 3 days. So it's my weekend now.
Nice. Awesome. Cool. We've already been, for those of us who have been awake for a while, I will let you know how the energy is for the day. It's very masculine. Everyone just wants to like sit in their meditation cave and hole up with their journal or voice recorder and just take it all in. For some reason this year, I don't know if there's like any significance to it, but it seems like the bloodlines are really calling to be cleansed. Like, I don't know, today was the first day that I really put together that 11/11 and the day that World War I ended, like why we have Veterans Day today is because it ended in the 11th hour on the 11th day of the 11th month is why we celebrate Veterans Day on 11/11. So
I did not know that.
Yeah, and I knew that, but I hadn't like put it together. But when I saw that, and then the fact that 11/11 is such a strong like portal day, which it has been in cultures forever, but it's just one of these things where the bloodlines already were being called to be cleansed around Samhain, so it's almost like they're giving us this chance of like, okay, I get it. If the end of your month was a little crazy, we're giving you this opportunity to go in there and just cleanse out bloodlines, not only like that are affecting you, but that actually might end up affecting your posterity and your being able to be the gateway of that cleansing. And again, on a very like super conscious level where you're just like hold up and you're doing your own thing, but in the background, just because you've set the intention of like, okay, I get it, I see the signs, I've gotten the vibe, whatever, like let's just, you guys, I will be your channel for you, and like let me know if there's something that you need to do, and just be very like aware of like, oh, I want to go meditate outside, or oh, I'm really craving this specific drink that maybe you don't ever want to drink. There could be like a reason why that's all processing through you. And when I was tuning into your energy this weekend, it seems like a lot of your stuff is this daddy's little girl energy that I get.
Yeah.
Of like, you know, he'll always save you no matter what. So
that's what I've been trying to break for so long, because the tens of thousands of dollars that he agreed to invest in my business, like there is this energy tie that we needs to fucking break, because it's like the guilt trips for helping me and like shaming me pretty much, and then turning around and writing me a check.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm over it. And I had to ask him this last month for the final straw, because we hadn't talked for a couple of months. And now that this like Uber thing's panned out, like there's no reason for me to not make it happen on my own. Like it's not available. I can't do it anymore. Can't do it.
No, 100%. I totally get it. I am a daddy's little girl. I borrowed $5,000 from him to work with somebody and didn't make any of it back, like assumed just because of how on fire she was. I totally had shiny object syndrome is what happened. So I got total shiny object syndrome because I had wanted to work with her the month before and then couldn't make it happen. And then the next month she like did some really amazing stuff where I was like, see, I knew that there was a reason why I was supposed to, like, and I convinced myself that I had to get on that train, and then nothing happened. And like a month after he lent me the $5,000, he got laid off. And I was like, oh, so not only did I borrow this money from you that I thought for sure I was going to make back instantly, like within a week, but now like that's money that you actually, luckily he got a job and he's like not hurting for it, but he definitely, like, anytime anything comes up with my business, he's like, so I want a clearing and I'm sure that I get mine for free and all this stuff, where I'm like, oh, okay.
That's playful though, I think. What do you think?
It's playful, but what I'm trying to say is like, It is, but it's not. Like, he would
Right.
never pay for my services, but he also knows that, like, besides massage therapy, I'm like, it's an energetic exchange, Dad. I'm sorry. Like, I can't. Like, I know that the value that I would give you is it like, give me $10, give me $20, like something in this moment that at least honors
Right.
the now energetic exchange. And let's like worry about, because we lived with them for 10 years, like the amount of money that I would owe my parents is like incalculable, which is why anytime I get really guilty and I ask my dad, like, how much money should I start paying you back? He's like, just think of it as an investment in the bank of mom and dad for my grandkids or something like that, where he's all like, just pay it forward because you've got 3 kids and you're going to end up failing.
Yeah.
So that explains why I feel that so strongly. But tell me about your dad, or do you know anything about your grandparents or great grandparents during the Great Depression? Because this part was coming in pretty strong too for you.
That I don't know.
Okay.
I just know you mean my paternal side?
Either, just like, do you know if any side of your family, like if there was any super bad hardships because of the Depression, or if anyone committed suicide, or like any of these like crazy things that could have happened, like homelessness?
Well, my mom's side's full-blood Italian, and they used to be part of the mafia and all sorts of fucked up shit.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool, but it's kind of crazy.
No,
And
that's fun. And they actually did well during the Depression. They didn't have to worry.
and then, but they were kind of crazy. Like my grandpa still abuses my grandma. My grandma would never leave, and that's kind of
Right.
And then on my dad's side, they've always been strong-willed. I come from, every single one of them are entrepreneurs, long line of entrepreneurs.
Okay.
But I don't know anything about them during that time. That's all I know.
Okay. So it's probably one of those things where like, now I've made you consciously aware of it. So if there's something, so this is what I was trying to explain on my video yesterday about how if there's something that you are supposed to consciously process, like it's important for your karmic path that you consciously go into this part of your Akashic records or your childhood or whatever and process it, the universe isn't trying to fuck with you. It will make it clear as day. You will start seeing signs left and right where you're like, okay, I guess I need to go find an Akashic record healer or like whatever. Like you will, and you've already done this because the people who have the biggest self-worth issues are the ones who have already invested so much money thinking this is going to work, this is going to work, this is going to work. And why I've realized that I'm very much like Lorna in the fact that I seem to be like the last chance, like fuck this, I'm like I'm done and you have it and I want that and I don't fucking care, like I'm done. And I'm fine with that. I love being that person actually, because then I don't have to explain shit to people. I don't want to hold their hands and have to explain what a fucking chakra is. Like the fuck. But why I'm saying that is because with this, I just got totally derailed. Hold on, thought, come back to me. So when there's other things playing in the background, you might get a little, like what I said, like, I wonder if something happened in the Depression. But like for the next few, like nothing ever really comes up, and like maybe you think about it every now and then, but when you do, nothing, you don't get like this pull to be like, yeah, I need to ask Dad, like nothing really happens. Then it's one of those things that just needed to be cleaned off, that you didn't have to consciously process. Mm-hmm. And that's the new process that I'm bringing in, that everyone has called spiritual bypassing, because I'm not just always bypassing the system. You don't just always go and get a coronary bypass surgery. You get on a good diet, you start taking care of your body, you get on the fucking pills that you need to, whatever, your healthy eating, which is why everything I do is whole life alignment, like every energy field, all of the subtle bodies, all of the areas of your life. As you know, your sex life could be the reason why your business isn't panning out, or vice versa. It's all about your codes connecting to their codes. Like their body codes are connected to your money codes, and as soon as you do that, all of a sudden this multimillionaire who's got body issues comes and finds you. Like all sorts of crazy, like, and I'm telling you from experiencing it right now, crazy things start to happen. Like one of Bob Proctor's really good friends ended up on a call with me and is now trying to figure out how to work with me. And I'm like, excuse you, you know Bob Proctor and you want to work with me? Okay, well, fuck. Let's do that then. And it's just these things, like, it all makes sense once you can let go of all of the things that didn't work.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
And I feel like I'm finally at that point, like I'm done trying, if that makes sense. Like I'm not searching. I'm not like trying to like before I couldn't accept, like I was still having guilt or like shaming myself for not having any success within this 3 years from when I started this. And I think that was a lot of what I was taking on, I guess, more responsibility that like wasn't even mine. Like I can't, like he chose to invest. That's his deal. He needs to deal with his end of things. And like, if he feels like shit because he's lending me so much money, he needs to deal with that.
Right.
But he did it, you know? And then I have to take care of my side of things, because I just know my word is shit to him. And that bothers me because how many times have I come to him saying, oh, this is going to generate a return? Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
When in my bones, I know it's the biggest ROI he's ever going to fucking experience.
Yeah, eventually. And you don't also understand like what level. So with my dad, I had to start setting these boundaries. Like when I asked him for money this last time, I didn't even ask him as me. I emailed him from my work email address and like wrote it out like a business proposal.
Yeah.
And sent the email and was like, if you agree, here's the routing number. You can wire the money in me. Like, and if you don't, then I'll get the answer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And versus, hey, daddy, like over the dinner table, like this awkward conversation. So that was one thing. And just by doing that, even though he hasn't seen the money yet, my dad's like conversations with me around he's like, I know that you're going to do it. Like you're going to make $1 million, which never used to happen. Just from that one energy shift. And me also asking, that was also around the same time that I asked him, how much money did I owe you? And he like made it like set the clear line of like, I get that you've always said you're going to repay me, but please fucking don't. Like, unless you're going to make millions and want to retire me, and that's fine. But like, don't try to make payments to me because you feel all weird about the fact that you owe all these other people money too. Because you're in some shame pit of how much money you owe everyone. And it was a really hard conversation, but that also followed. That conversation didn't happen until I did a whole bunch of inner child work around understanding that parents are doing the best they can, even though we think that they can do a lot better.
Yep.
They really were just doing, like, even people that were abused as fuck and are like, no, my parents totally could have been better. They were better with my other siblings. Like, no, if you believe in karma, you know that your life played out and why we have to say there are no victims. Then you get to just look at your entire childhood and you say, this is an experience I had, but there's no emotional charge. Like the mirror work that I was talking about. Sorry, I always go like this because my mirror is behind me. So, and then I realized yesterday I was doing that. I'm like, they don't fucking know why I'm pointing backwards. So yeah, it's like staring and being like, I was abused, until there was no more emotional charge, which is different than just integrating your shadow. It's my version of alchemy. Like it goes past owning it to like, there's zero charge. There's just nothing there anymore. Like I can say it and it's just a fact.
Yeah.
Like, okay, yeah, I witnessed my dad throw my mom across the room multiple times. And that's because he really had no other way of coping with the amount of anger that was in his body. And I know that now. And just can like say that and be like, so now I can tell you, like, that's how I empathize with clients and can share with these people without feeling like I'm like ripping myself open and like overexposing myself. It's the reason why I post naked pictures of myself on Instagram and all that stuff, honestly, because I don't want there to be anything out there that I'm not aware of could be used against me.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, okay, fine. You found nude photos? Yeah, that was a good one. I got that photographer's number. Do you need it? And that's the level of self-worth that most women can't get to because of all of the other shit that I just said. There's the daddy issues, and then there's the safety, and then there's the rape culture, and then there's the guilt, and then there's the shame, and there's just all this stuff where if we could really own you are a work of art, like go look at where do you live?
I live in Omaha, Nebraska.
Omaha, Nebraska. That is awesome. Little bit of nowhere. That's so cute. My husband's from Bemidji, Minnesota, so like I know the Midwest like the little. I've been through there. Yeah. I live in Salt Lake. It's not a big city, but my family's from LA, so I have that big city vibe.
You sometimes. Live in Salt Lake?
Yeah.
I had to fly out to Salt Lake for one of my jobs before I actually started this journey 3 years ago. Yeah. My boss was in Utah while I ran the office in Omaha.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's why it worked out, was because I could do my own thing without a boss over my shoulder.
Totally. So with you, let's we're going to use this energy portal for today just to focus on all of what you already just talked about. Like you have to set these boundaries, because at any time you have to know that you might have to completely cut off your dad, or your dad might completely just cut you, like literally would never answer the phone if you called.
Yeah, and that's fine. He's done that before.
Right. But it's not just him. Like you could be completely alone for a long time and still have to completely support yourself. And a lot of that fear is just not actually thinking that because what did I say yesterday? You felt it in your solar plexus, right? When I said you can't have that, or it's too much.
A little bit. I don't know. Then again, I don't know if my mind like made that up or not. Right. I don't know. Okay. It's hard for me to do those body things.
Yeah. So that's the other thing that I teach so much is embodiment, because you can know something on an intellectual level, but until you actually, and like knowing it in your bones is again, there's no emotional charge, or there is, like, it's not that you become an emotionless zombie. It's that the charge is because you know so well, like, this is wrong and I'm here to change it, and I'm going to fuel and focus my anger and frustration at this specific thing, versus just like, pew, 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 I'm sending off sparks in all directions all the time, and I haven't been able to figure out how to focus it. So when you focus it, then there's no more shadows. Then you're like, okay, we're going to take you shadows and form you into this cannon, and we're going to laser blast this issue into nothingness.
Yeah. So I guess my whole intention, or
what's something that you think is too much?
What?
I don't know why I have to ask you that question, but like, what is it that you think is too much about your life right now?
I actually fucking love my life right now. It's amazing. Like, this Uber thing has allowed me to understand that, holy fuck, I can do this on my own. Like, this is working out. This is giving me the energy of instantly getting money. Like, it's continually flowing through the channels every single day that I decide to go drive. And I've always just known, like, and that's the thing. Like, I just know no matter what I do, I will be a success. I just know.
On an intellectual level.
Well, like,
where does that land in your body? Okay, where?
Yeah.
You just said that you don't do well with the body thing. So that was a lie.
That's my intuition.
Yeah, but see, you are okay with finding your intuition when...
So feeling it viscerally, like intuitively, like I just know with every fiber of my being that I will be a success no matter what. Like, that's not a thing.
Okay, so then it's about focusing it towards the next current success. So that's where it is that you're really good at imagining out to the future, but like, then what's the current situation? Which is why when someone asks you a direct question right now, where in your body does it land when I say, no, Allison, your program's too much, you can't feel it, because you're like, fuck you. I know I'm better. Like, I know it, but you're not willing to like, okay, where does that actually hit me?
I get lost because I feel like I have these moments of clarity of what I'm here to do. but then it gets foggy again. Like I have no fucking idea what I'm here to do for
Right.
people.
That's the victim mentality. You're not staying in the warrior, which we've talked about before, where you go from warrior to victim because, again, self-worth. I don't believe that I actually have the value to give everyone, even though I can see into the great beyond that I will be a success, and I know it with every fiber of my being, and I can close my eyes and envision myself in the White House signing papers, getting the Nobel Peace Prize like Obama, but not causing all these fucking wars simultaneously, because I don't understand how that happened. I digress. I can see all that great, and I can't have been for years, but I didn't actually believe I had the value to give that would merit me receiving all that stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah, does that?
Yeah. I think, yeah, that makes sense because because my main pillar is the child sovereign. Like I've always been a dreamer. I've always just known, like, and people would get pissed off because they're like, it's not real. Like, why are you thinking you can do all these things? And
right. Yeah. That's why I talk about,
because I get to.
Yeah. That's why I talk about the Phoenix child versus the entitled child.
Yeah. And I have dealt with entitlement.
Yeah. Because the sovereign makes the child's dreams come true. So you don't completely ever alchemize the child. You just alchemize all the wounds. So it's the wounded / entitled child that then gets alchemized into the Phoenix child that has all of the positive, like the innocence and the bliss and the pleasure and the vision and all the things that we love about being a child, that the light workers also doing the inner healing, like the inner child work. But they don't specify like which fucking child. Are you dealing with the super out of control temper tantrum, or are you dealing with the cute, playful, inquisitive, because they're both the same kid, right? And you can see that when you actually have kids. You're like, I like that version of you. Can I have that one more often, please? Like,
yeah.
And then you as a mom cultivate your habits so that you keep the version of your kid that you like around the most often. But we were taught to do that using fear and shame and anger. And the new paradigm in new moms, which I know you're not, but you will be. I'm sure that's a plan for you. So
well, the reason I'm doing all of this is for my family.
Right. So because of that, that's the other reason why you're so drawn to me. That's who I'm calling in right now, is the people who want to do it all. Like, I'm going to be a homeschooling mom who runs the world and does this and does that and does all these things because I can, what you said already. Because that level of knowing exists. It then, like I said, it's turning around like, okay, what is my inner cultivation that I have to do to know who I am and what I am and how I serve enough to merit receiving all these things that I know are waiting for me.
Right.
And then that question, you'll get all these answers, and the only thing stopping you is you believing you're actually worth doing all of the tedious ass things that because we understand it intellectually, especially if you were a good test taker or anything like that in school or did pretty well in school, you understand something intellectually, so you think you don't have to do the homework. And what I'm finding is a lot of people actually need to go back to basics and do the fucking homework that they intellectually understood, but never actually did the questions that were given. Never actually did like those like real deep, like, okay, I just read the question and I want to put my pen fucking down because this is harder. I don't know the answer. Where's the teacher? I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer, because it's not there's no right answer. It's literally your answer. And that's when, knowing your intuition in this moment, you start facing it head on. You're like, okay, this is a question from a course that I signed up for 4 months ago that I never finished, that I'm committing to myself that I'm worth all of the investments that I made to actually go through the programs.
That's what I was going to tell you. That's what's confusing to me, because like money, it's weird because it's like this flip side of a coin. I have, like, if it's something that I want, I never give a fuck what the price tag is ever. If it's something that I want or I feel intuitively, like, that's it, that's for me, I will either find a way to get the money or save up to have the money and then buy that thing and not sell out for something less than what I want. or like it's just not a question to me. Like, and I don't understand why people can be like, well, how could you spend that much money? Well, like I'm priceless, so like I would invest to the moon and back for myself.
No, you think that those people are worth the money, but how often do you actually do the work? Like, tell me, do you have a freebie graveyard?
Like opt-ins?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's telling the universe that even when it gives you free knowledge, you don't think you're worth doing the actual work that it would take for you to go through these different freebies that are 7-day courses or 21-day courses or whatever the fuck they're giving to you for free, that the universe is handing to you on a silver fucking platter. And you're like, actually, because you have it warped. Because I didn't pay money, it must not be valuable. Your value is also your time. So I'm not worth the time it would take to do this thing that the universe provided to me for free.
Interesting. Huh.
Because time and space exist simultaneously. The warrior and the magician have to come together to become the activator. Mm-hmm. And so often we only look at the warrior side and we don't see we just see the space or the money, right? Mm-hmm. The boundary, our bank account, where it's at. And we don't see the time and how much the universe has actually given to us without us ever touching the bank account. And we just literally were like, oh, well, I didn't spend anything on it, so it must not be worth anything.
Gotcha.
So what I would do is to cultivate this in the moment intuition, go through, it's going to be kind of tedious, but go through, find your opt-ins that you've done, create your own folder in your email for them. Cleaning out your email box even is a really great thing to just do, even though it's tedious.
Yeah, I've started doing that actually.
Yeah, so you move them all into their own folder, and instead of you just intuitively find one. And then create it a little subfolder if it was one of those ones that was a week or whatever. And just commit. You're like, okay, I am worth the time that it's going to take to do this. And I'm being guided by my spirit. I know that there's no procrastinating. I'm not wasting my time by doing this and not doing my email. I'm not wasting time by not promoting my group. My intuition told me to check my email. And when I looked at my email, it told me to take this course. And when I looked at that course, it was a 4-day course. And I am worth that time it will take to do 1, 2, 3, 4 days consecutively and see what other things start to shift just because you did something like that, instead of, because you don't think you're searching for what to do, and yet you're still probably like, well, what do I do now? And there's this question that you can ask of okay, let me feel my body. What feels like something I really want to do right now versus, okay, well, what's next? Okay, what's next? Okay, what do I do next? That's the childish puppy dog. Okay, spirit, tell me what to do. I'm going to be your obedient servant. Tell me what to do. So when we come...
That's kind of where I think I am challenged right now, is because, well, it's awesome because I don't do the opt-in thing anymore, but I am going to go through in all the opt-ins that I used to do, because I used to be a fiend for the opt-ins, the free opt-ins. Right. So I will do that.
And then any other courses that you might have not finished, ones that you you can delete them and unsubscribe. That's the other thing I was going to say. If there are ones that you're just I don't even no.
They're a shit ton. I don't even know who they are or resonate with them anymore.
Yeah, so do that as well. Facebook, all of those places that you're energetically leaking, because since the codes that I'm bringing in, honestly, Sonica, Tia, anyone that actually worked with Lorna, and even a lot of people that didn't but now may have found her, we're all working on this new internet level stuff. So there's way more tech leaks than physical leaks. So that's why cleaning up all this stuff when you're on this high level thing, if you've got Facebook friends that you grew your audience because someone told you to, and there's people on there that you've unfollowed, fucking unfriend them. Don't just unfollow people. If they really want to be your friend again, they'll message you or they'll send you another request.
Right.
Whatever. Just because you unfriend somebody doesn't mean if they were following you that they stop following you as well. That's a thing I found out. So all these places, it's really apparent that because we're in the age of technology and because we're running all these super conscious systems through what we're about to do with this, which I'm sorry it took a little bit longer, but there were all these things that came through. I was like, I need to tell Allison all these things. Yeah, that there's these energy leaks that are now happening. So deleting your emails, doing all of that, as well as like I said, switching from like, what do I do next, to what do I want to do next? Because your dragon self, segue, see the segue, your dragon self is your higher self, is your current self. So a lot of the times I'll have clients visualize themselves as a silhouette, like see themselves in a silhouette, and then pan out. And as they pan out, they start seeing the silhouette or light body outline of a dragon, but their human form is like inside of it, with the merging of the two energies. Because you're just a physicalization of your energetic body, right?
Right.
And we talk about that all the time, but a lot of people think about a channel and that there's this channel of something that's contained somehow because it's a channel. So if it's a channel, that means that there's some sort of containment field around it. Or an orb, like our energy orb and all the like heart mapping that we do, where you can see that it is creating like an actual circular orb. I just have way more fun imagining that I'm a badass dragon. So it's the same science and it's the same mindset. It's just like, okay, well, if I am this thing, then that means that I get to decide what my channel containment field looks like.
Right.
And mine just happens to be a really badass, multicolored, black diamond, titanium looking beast. She's badass.
And I think like my main thing right now, and what I'm hoping to clear up with this session is, and Lorna even touched on this in her video she just did, but like,
oh, she did a video. Oh,
so my intuition comes to me in impulses. Like I need to act in the moment or it won't show up again, because it speaks to me once and then it's fleeting. And I have a problem
I'm
with
happy that you've decided that.
With having these bursts of energy, but then I get fucking bored. Like I'm excited about this program that I'm doing, but like part of me is like kind of bored with it because I'm like, I'm not exactly sure. It's almost
so
like
you're bored because it's not generating the wealth that you want.
Probably,
and
yes.
So it comes down to this thing. This is something that Sonica taught me. Create because you want to create it, and it literally doesn't matter if anyone else does it. You will go through and take your own fucking course.
That was in the Empire Academy. I remember that.
Yeah. So when you do that,
so I just do it just because of the joy of creation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So get back, which is again childlike. So if you have a block with your dad, which would explain why one of these dragons that popped up came up, by the way. I'll just go into it right now. So I pulled 4 cards while we were talking. It helps me to just be in a conversation and pull them instead of trying to be like, okay, now we're going to pull your cards. So 4 came out. For you, I'm not seeing them as, it's not looking like a reading. Sometimes it comes out as like, this is where you were, this is where you are, this is where you're going. This looks just like the 4, the 4 dragons that are in your sphere right now, helping you in this time and that are going to be facilitating the invocation. Okay. So the first one is the alpha dragon. And I'll take a picture of these and send them to you so you can see him.
That's funny. It's alpha because my evolution, like my life's work and my evolution, the foundation of my gifts is gene key or gate number 1 and number 2, which is the ultimate feminine and masculine.
Yeah, I'm surprised the Omega dragon didn't come out because that's pulled out before simultaneously for some people. Yeah. So this is harness the divine masculine power of creation, destroy the old, visualize your dream, help to manifest a new world. So that's why I feel like it's so strongly connected to your bloodline right now, and why a lot of these things that are going to fall off of you, you're not even going to notice it except for in what starts happening in your life. And the best way to track that is that the universe does love gratitude. I will tell you that much. Like, dragons get off on gratitude. So even though it's one of the like basic 101 things, start a new gratitude journal, especially in November when like everyone's running all these like 30 days of gratitude fucking challenges. And so
I get bored.
gratitude
I
is,
think that shit's lame.
I know it's lame, but like
I do
you have
gratitude
to
in my head
realize, right,
every day.
right. So physicalizing it though. So you are in your head all the time and you want to manifest in the physical realm. So find the joy in it. Make it be pretty. Color it in. Look up some bullet journal videos. Like, make it fun. Because you're in your brittle feminine really deeply. With like, fuck that. Fuck that. And you think that you're in your empowered dark goddess, but it's really the brittle feminine. Because what happens? The dark and the shadow look
The same.
similar, right? So, when you're in that cattiness, like that's what you want to physicalize it, but then you're like, I'm not going to do that. I do it in my head. Okay, great. Is money in your head? Perfect. If you could just pull some of that out of your brain and like physically bring it into form, which is all is coming through. Like, and I just give you homework based on like, now that we're in the dragon like zone, based on what they're like telling you. So he's telling you creative masculine side, do more of these what you think is boring. Like some of these very childish, very 101, like start a gratitude journal. I am so happy and so grateful. A trick that I learned with those affirmations is do them for both. Do them for your gratitudes, like your current ones. I am so happy and so grateful now that I'm driving on Uber every night and this, that, and the other. And also do it for your future ones because time doesn't exist outside of this plane. So if you start thinking about what you already have, I'm so happy and so grateful now that I have blank, and what you want in the future, I am so happy and so grateful now that I have blank. Your timeline goes like, oh, and it just like starts merging those parts of your brain. Like every time
Maybe
I write
that's
this
why
sentence.
I'm not consistent with that, because I do the future, like see myself
Yeah.
as the future self all the
Yeah.
time. Like I have it down to exactly what my day looks like when she's here. Like,
Yeah. So you need to start bringing her into the reality. So you do that by writing, like have what you have now, what Allison has now, 10 things every day with the same sentence of what future Allison has. So that in the emotional, mental, and energetic realms, they start going like this. And because you're writing it down, you're actually channeling her through physical. And self-worship, self-discipline, a daily ritual practice is actually about that God, like worshiping yourself as a God. It's no longer your homework. It's no longer tedious as fuck. It's no longer like annoying. You actually want to be holed up in your cave as much as possible because that's where you're like cooking up, alchemizing all the magic and all the mojo and all the delicious, yummy things that you're going to give to the world. So you have to fall in love with yourself. And the only way to fall in love with yourself is to find where you have value. Yeah. So the next part of it is the deep blue dragon. So this is why I also say that a lot of this shit is me and yours, and it's just going to go away. So the deep blue dragon you see is badass. He's got all this crazy, intense fire. Keeps you safe by clearing your pathways. Trust that you are protected and walk on a path of light. This guy in the book, when you read about him, he is like cleanser extraordinaire. So up to a mile in front of you, you can just send him and be like, I have this meeting in the city and blah, 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 and I need to get there. And he will just like, green light, red, just get you there and clears everything. And then that's you turning into your intuition. He's like, okay, I need to take a right. Okay, now I need to take a left. Okay, now I need to go through this. And holy shit, I'm parked right here in the front. There's a parking spot. Everything's ready. I'm on time, blah, blah, blah. So he's great for that, but he's also great for going really, really deep into the roots that a lot of clearings don't go that far back. So I think with today's energy, with there being the channel of 1111, he's just like blasting all the way down through your entire family tree, every root, everything on either side that is ready, even if it's not ready, is going to get blasted out and leave only the stories that are there for knowledge and none of the karmic shit and none of the like, it's just going to get evaporated and sucked up with the portal because again, let's just use all the energy that all the light workers are doing today. Like, why not? I'm all about using somebody else's Wi-Fi. Sorry. Okay. This third one is Earth and Air Dragon, represents a perfect balance of heaven and earth. Stay balanced, ground your vision, manifest your hopes and dreams. So she's the dragon that helps bring those visions in your head, your intellectual visions, into physical reality. So you see she's looking up into the stars, and yet like she's so grounded. She could go fly away at any time, but she knows that there's work to be done. So she stays here. Which is what I feel like that's what you really need. So the alpha and dragon is like, yep, you have to do, like, your thinking time and creating time is actually over. You need to like go do the fucking work. And the deep blue dragon's like, here, I'm going to clear all the path. You're not going to have internet issues. You're not going to have problems uploading. You're not going to have, none of that shit's going to happen during it. And then the earth and air dragon's saying like, okay, like, let's physicalize it. And then the final one is the golden orange dragon expands your light for ascension. Be a peaceful warrior. Help those in need. Remember your magnificence. And he's this, like, he's throwing his quill and he's got his book. And so like writing your book and getting your course done and all those things that you're trying to, those are all physical things, right?
Yeah.
So you have to physically do that work for those things, all the change that you see happening. And all that comes down to is you've put all of your value into the money pile. And it's time to start putting it into the time pile. Because it's not just about having the freedom to only work 10 hours a week, but it's what the fuck are you doing only 10 hours a week that allows you that freedom.
Right. That makes sense.
That's a huge, huge thing. Like, if you want to have clients 10 hours, like you want to have 15 clients, great. You schedule them now. And when you don't have a client in that spot, you're writing your book. If you don't have a client in that spot, you're making the fucking video.
See, and when I downloaded my brand, when it came through me in 3 funnels. I don't want to work with people one-on-one because that means I have to be present to make money. Don't want to do it.
Okay.
It's all passive. That's why I've downloaded these signature courses. So right. Yeah, that's my work. And then those are passive income streams. But
so then you have to make them.
Yeah. So that's my work right now.
Yeah. So then figure that out, because you have passive income streams, but then eventually once they start working,
I already know what's next.
So you have all of that going, but that's what I'm trying to say. Like, if your work is passive income, then you really have no reason why it hasn't started working for you. If you're not looking for one-on-one clients, which is what most people are doing, then it's about the fact that you haven't decided that you're worth, that you've given all of this other shit going on your time. Though the laundry's worth my time, going to do this is worth my time, doing this is worth my time, but actually sitting here and being like, okay, intuition, you don't work whenever you feel like it. I'm the one who came here and physicalized into this human fucking form. I'm the one that you keep dropping all these ideas into. I have created a time slot for you. You are coming through me now. And if that means you gotta smoke a little bit of weed, you gotta do a little bit of psilocybin, like whatever you gotta do to like just start it, there's no my intuition works when. It's I command my intuition and it's like, oh, bing, and your head opens and it just comes through and you're like, holy shit, it's been 3 hours and I can't stop and it's amazing and it's just running and running and running. Because that's happened to you before. Yeah. And then you've created this imaginary box of my intuition just works when I want it to, or when it wants to. My intuition is fleeting. I get tired. Like, those are all just lies and bullshit that you've decided. So it's now time to undecide that. Because it's just about your story. So your story right now is everything that you've said about how it works when it wants to, and I get really tired, and I don't know why you wouldn't want to work one-on-one with people, because being present and then being able to charge them $75,000 seems way more fun to me. But if you don't want to do one-on-one, then like, that's fine. But one-on-one is where you do make the most money. So it's one of those other things of like, Are you not valuing what you have? Or is there like a fear that's actually there? And there is actually this whole channel that you just won't even, you're like, okay, yeah, I see you, but you're fucking scary. So I'm going to just like pretend that you don't exist.
I feel like kind of a bitch saying this, but like, I just, like, I want to impact people like quick, like once. Like, I don't want to have weeks of conversation with you. Like, I want to just.
So then you just open up for that.
Activate you, but like, I don't know. One-on-one just doesn't sound appealing to me.
So one-on-ones can be a one-time call. There are people who charge literally $10,000 to talk to them for an hour.
Yeah, I definitely don't believe that I'm worth that right now.
Right, and I'm not saying that you are worth that right now, but you can start with something. Like, that's what my 104, that's what this is. It's only available to new clients. It's only available as an introduction to, like, this is what it would look like if. And it's also the reason why the longest thing that I have is only 12 weeks, because my transformations are so fast that there's no way that I could commit to you for longer than that. Unless you're going to pay me like $100,000 for a year, you're probably not going to get me for longer than 12 weeks at a time.
Yeah.
Because I don't, like, 12 weeks ago, when was that? August? I was jumping out of an airplane. Excuse you? That is like 97 lifetimes ago.
Yeah. It's crazy. Seriously. Like, it feels like so much time goes by. Like, it's insane.
Yeah. So that's the message. The dragons are coming and being like, we're going to clear all this bullshit out for you. We're going to clear out all this family shit that's not yours, all these limiting lies that you've just created because of family shit that's not yours. And all you have to do is commit that you have value. Another thing that's coming through is this exercise that I do sometimes where I'm like, okay, I want to increase how much I'm charging, but like, how the fuck can I validate that? And I will write down all of my values. So like every class I've ever taken, every certification I've ever done, any authors that I totally binged and like know their work inside and out, just all of these different experiences. And then anyone that I've helped, even if it was just a little old lady at the grocery store, made her smile, helped her put her things away, because that's like shows me my value, and then again shows universe in physical form, like, hey, I have value that people would exchange for cash. And then you just start realizing, like, this is actually more valuable because look at this last client that I helped, or look at this person, or I can see now it's cleared up enough for me to see what these high net worth people's problems are, because they sure as fuck aren't money problems, but they've got all this stuff and they've got all this stuff and they've got all this stuff. So if I can just clear my money shit enough to get to them, then I don't ever have to talk about money again, because they don't want to talk about their money. They got their money shit down. It's what else?
I guess maybe that's the thing. Am I targeting the wrong client? Like people, because I'm targeting people that are below me, that are like,
oh, fuck, excuse you, no, absolutely, no. Dark workers do not work with people that's you trying to save your past. This makes so much more sense now. It's not the past of your family.
And I think maybe that's why it's not working. I don't know. But then I'm like, what
have you watched any of Lorna's videos where she says it's harder for you to make money that's smaller than your energy field than it is for you to stretch your physical brain to think that you're capable of making the bigger money?
So maybe that's why it doesn't land, because I'm targeting people who aren't where I'm at or higher. Like,
yeah.
So I don't even know how to speak to those people. Like, what am I supposed to help them with? I
just said it. Everything except for money. Literally every single issue that you have, and this is what I've been having my clients do that are like trying to figure out how to figure out the money game, and they're like, who am I to go talk to a CEO when I can't even make my rent this month? And I'm like, write down who you are, except for your bank account has $1 billion in it. I want you to write down exactly who you are, where you are in your life, every area, your confidence, your sex life, your health, your everything. Except for when you come to the finances part, you write mega billionaire, doesn't fucking matter, never think about it.
Okay.
That is your ideal client. That is your genius. Money is energy and you are energy.
Right.
So and you know all of this.
Yeah.
So, but it's the biggest block globally. Again, not your shit, because you know intellectually better. But you have created this like ceiling that for some reason, once they have all the money, then all their other problems must go away. So what can I ever help them with? Plenty of rich people who are depressed as fuck. Plenty of rich people who can't look at themselves naked in the mirror. Plenty of rich people out there who want to know how to like be psychic or whatever other value that you have. The only thing that they don't care about is money. And if anything, their money is distracting them from the fact that all these other things are what's fucked up in their life.
Yeah, and that's funny because I've never give a fuck about the price tag, and that's who I want to work with. They don't care about the price tag. Like,
right.
They don't care about.
So if that's who you want to work with, that's why why your course isn't coming through. You don't even want to fucking work with these people. That's why you don't want to do one-on-one, is because you don't want to fucking listen to those people. Do you know what's really interesting? Listening to someone who doesn't care about money's problems. Because they're not thinking about what all those other people are thinking about at all. Not even a little bit.
But I don't know what I'd help them with. Like, I don't, that's
exactly
what I'm trying to wrap my head around. No, I mean, the people
I know
that have all the money, like, how do I market to them when I don't know. I have no fucking idea.
Exactly. So now it's just something new that you get to think about, though. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what and we've now figured out what this is going to target.
And then I feel like I'm leaving behind, like, people
you're
walking them through their awakening.
But is that do you want to be walking, do you want to be working with people and walking them through their awakening or their endarkening?
Endarkening.
So you're going to be like me. You're going to end up working with people who have been through the spiritual gambit and are ready to go create some really cool shit. And that's why you don't have to figure out your niche or how you would help them. You just create your beyond. Like, you want to work with me. You think dragons are cool. You want to come hang out and see what it is that I have going on in my life. You want to have amazing sex. You want to have a body that you can't stop staring at. You want to have all these billions of dreams that you can't even keep straight in your brain, and you're just constantly bursting and only sleep 4 hours a night and be totally fine. Okay, come hang out with me. You don't want to do that? Fine, whatever. Literally don't care. Which is why all of a sudden I'm getting full pay clients out of thin fucking air who don't have money problems at all, obviously, because they're paying my fee without a problem. Actually worked herself through a money block. She partially paid, and 4 hours later came back and was like, hey, so I talked myself through. Can I just pay the full price instead because it's been less than 24 hours since I paid you? Yeah, sure. You want to give me more money? Go ahead.
I don't know. And see, this is where I get frustrated and I want to cry because it's like...
Good. Cry!
I don't know, but I know that's not a fucking answer. And
that's the answer. I don't know is the answer. That's the dark, babe. You don't get to see the pieces. Do you think that when I started talking about dragons, I don't even talk about the dragon tribes anymore because I realized that was somebody else that I was trying to like do her shit. I connect you to your name only because it's fun to invoke that presence by giving her own name, even though you know it's you. But then you start being able to call in these gods and goddesses a lot easier into your meditations as well because you're already on their level all the
time. God. No idea. I help these people that are me or like I don't know how to
are cutting out. I can't. It's cutting in and out a lot. And oh, there you are. I think you're back. Are you back? Oh, and she's back. Yeah, now I can.
I'm going to have it with my fucking internet people. I've had this conversation. This happens every single time I have a Zoom. They've upgraded me to 5G. They've said
it's not the internet, dude. The Zoom has been having problems for like every person I know. Zoom constantly is freaking out for them.
This does it to me every time I'm on a Zoom.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Zoom
my end.
Has a problem.
Oh, you think Zoom has a problem?
Zoom, it's very rare for my Zoom calls to go all the way without an issue. So whether that's my field or Zoom or whatever, don't like I couldn't even see Marjorie. She was literally in the dark and I had to eventually just like turn off her video just to hopefully be able to hear her. It was ridiculous. I was like, we're breaking everything.
But so that's what I'm frustrated because like I know I'm here, like I put people at ease like you, like part of your brand, like you put people at ease, like security is the framework of our marketing, like, but I don't know how I would provide that for people that already have.
Because you're only looking at their base needs. You're not looking at their spiritual needs or their metaphysical needs. You're not looking at the other areas. So that's why I'm saying, like, this is probably not an answer you're going to get. Like, you don't have anything going on today. It's your day off. So we'll do the activation and you can clear, like, just log off and I'll upload it for you. And it will be the time for you to, like, really receive, like, okay, if I'm really going to let go of Allison, like, completely, just, like, all of that stuff, and those two people that are already in my branding, they're about to go in for the fucking time of their life because the course that I'm actually going to make that's going to sell out by the end of this week is for who? And you just ask it. You're not searching for an answer. You're just, like, sitting there meditating,
I hate meditating.
Yeah, so you hate meditating because you're trying to find the answer and you're annoyed. So how do you make it fun? How do you make it a game? Can you listen to a guided meditation? Like, is there something that you can do that's not going to be the brittle feminine again of like, oh, there's my boundary. Nope, I don't do that. I hated meditation for a long time, and Lorna actually made it so that I hated it more because she would talk about how you don't need to meditate. And then I realized that she just doesn't call it meditation. She calls it channeling.
That's the crazy fucking thing. It's almost like manipulation. Like there's such a gap between the words of like human, the way humans can receive it, and like the pretty ways and the different verbiage that spiritual people put on things. Like they're the same fucking things. Yeah. But people get lost in it because people just create new shit. Like it's fucking
right. But it's not our job to save people. It's people's jobs to up level to the point where they can see the veil that was created, which is all that happens. She just calls it channeling. That's it. That's all she does.
Someone needs to make a dictionary that says human, here's the spectrum and all the different words.
Do it. If that's what you want to do it.
God.
I am more of but I'm a homeschooling mom, and we have a very strict rule in my house where you have to look it up in the dictionary if you don't know what it means.
Everything. Like I would look up every single word because I didn't understand any of the shit I was reading.
Okay, so we're gonna do this right now because it's 11:11 at my spot. So we're gonna drop into this. Okay, so go ahead and close your eyes. And I want you to just be exactly where you are, but let the room kind of fade away. So you're sitting in the dark, like a dark black room where you can't even see your hand. Can't see what's in front of you at all. Just completely dark. And yet you're completely and totally at ease. Oe, oe, amanabano, ali, ali, oloe, ali, oare, oa. Oe, awe, oare, amama, oe, oe, amanaro, oe, oe, baby, ali, oe, 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 ali, ali, aloe, ali, ali, oe, away, 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 Oh, 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 Go ahead and when you're ready, come back into this room, feel the lights, wiggle your fingers and your toes. Anything. Okay. How are you feeling?
Good. I just feel my field buzzing.
Good. Okay, so I have your dragon name. And again, this is just the fun game part of this whole thing is now you get to go play and start connecting. You can do mirror work with the name if you want to. You can just invite her to tea, whatever works for you. And I'll also put the name as the description when I upload this because I will upload this to a YouTube unlisted video for you. Okay?
Okay.
So the name, do you have a piece of paper?
Yeah.
Okay, it's Oanallyoa
Interesting.
And I don't say the name because I figured out that dragon language is all their own thing. So you'll put the enunciation where you feel it comes out best. So you just read it a few times and say it out loud until it comes out the way that you feel is like yes, and it'll resonate. That same buzzing that you felt, you'll kind of feel a maybe not as strong one, but still something that you're like, oh, yep, that's it, and then that way you can start communicating. What I said is the spelling might also shift as you work with the name. You might realize that it's really an I with one of those little squiggly things, or whatever, right? It's how I can best bring it through for you. And then, like I said, I'll take a picture of these as well. Do you have any questions or anything that you want to, anything?
I don't think so. I'm just trying not to think about those clients because I'm just wanting to like cry a river.
Do it.
Oh.
So it's a 11:11, like cry it out. You want to release it out. You release those fears because I don't know is the wounded child as well as the saboteur. It's not just the saboteur. It's the child that like really didn't know the answer and her parents were like, well, figure it out. And instead of there being a parent, you have to connect and be like, I don't know. And be like, okay, dragon, you're going to come, you have to parent yourself. That's the turning point is you have to learn how to parent yourself. And once you can do that, that's the thing that most people, even with a fuck ton of money, have no idea how to do.
Yeah, but parenting myself won't tell me who my client is.
Oh, really? I'm glad you decided that. And just remember that too. That's going to be your phrase that you hear over and over and over again in your head, and you're going to notice it now. You're going to say something, and immediately right afterwards, you're going to hear my voice say, oh, I'm glad you decided that. Because all that is your decision. And even if you don't know how to change that decision, it's just a language thing. You have this thing about language. Make sure your own conversations with yourself are in the same integrity and the same alignment. You're not saying things like, I don't have time for this, or whatever. Like, it comes very quickly, but you'll start becoming more aware of that. Yeah. Don't try to seek it.
Like, I just want the step-by-step, this is how I serve people. That's what I want. I want the answer.
But that's not how the dark works.
God.
You want to be a dark worker, but you don't want to play in the dark.
I keep thinking of that video that Lorna did. That first person, her first big sales, she reached out to the owner of the big group that she was a part of. Like, how did she know to say those things? Like, to get that client?
She was a channel. Because she knew her worth. You have to know that you are a channel, that you are a dragon, that you have all of that information already.
I know I'm a channel. I just don't know how to access that information. Like, I bought a book on how to channel.
Then read it. I bought a book, but I never read it because I'm not worth the time to read it. It's the same fucking thing again.
I'm getting angry. Yeah.
Good. That's what this lady's for. You're going to get real pissed off in the next 24 hours, I have a feeling, which is why she wanted to hang out. Sekhmet is the goddess that I was talking about yesterday on the live. She's the one who can focus all of her lion's rage and anger and then sunbeam direct it at whatever the block is.
So I just need to filter when that anger comes, because that's usually what ends up happening for me. I experience anger a lot.
Yeah, so take the anger when it happens.
Into building the program?
Yeah. Or channel it into just dismantling any blocks in the program right now. So right now it's not about the how, because now you're collapsing in a way, but not really. What you're actually doing is filling in all the holes, because you already know who you want to serve and you know all of that stuff. The only thing that you've done different is decided that it was people who were less fortunate than you. So now take these people on the same journey, but if there was any parts about money, maybe just rework it. Or if there wasn't, like, that's what really needs to happen is at this point, like, what is the actual journey you're taking the people on? And it doesn't matter if they buy it or not. It's the journey you want to. So maybe you're not actually even building any of the shit you thought, and you're building a course on how to channel, and you're going to channel all of it. Like, I have no idea. And I know that scares you to not know, but it's the fact that you've wanted it to, you're trying to build something in the light, but you want it to be dark grid. And you have to.
So you have to master the light gifts first and getting paid through your light gifts?
Bullshit. Fucking bullshit. I'm getting paid more through my light gifts now that I've surrendered to the fact that I have no fucking clue when I have this call at 3:30 what the hell I'm going to talk to this person about. No idea. No idea. Because she's trying to figure out how to make $1 million by the end of the year. Okay.
See, that doesn't.
But I know that I am her channel. I know that I will frequency back to her what she needs. I know that the second that the call starts, I have resonated to her. And that's the level of knowing and worth. Again.
So that's the
naked mirror mantras, baby. Naked mirror mantras.
That's the value and worth, is just that she's attracted.
Yeah, she's attracted to me because I know. Because I know something that she doesn't know and she wants to know it. What is that? I have no fucking clue. Because she's a badass and she's a psychic, and that's who she teaches, is multimillionaires who want to learn how to channel their psychic gifts. And I'm like, okay, cool.
That's interesting, because people always come to me and they say, I know you can teach me things. Like, I know shit that people don't know.
Yeah. And it's the fact that you don't. That's why I said make the list of all the things that you actually know. I was writing down the fact that, like, my parents took me to rituals starting when I was 8. The fact that I knew my spirit animal when I was 10 years old. Like, all these things that I hadn't even actually remembered. Or that one that I talked about with, like, the fundraisers, and then my dad reminded me actually one year that I did really well with my fundraiser, and my entire living room was, like, filled with fucking Girl Scout cookies that year. And I was like, oh yeah, actually, because I had only focused on how all the other years I was helping my friends carry their fucking boxes home because I only had 3 candy bars for my parents because they were the only ones that signed up on my fucking fundraiser list. And I thought that was what my money block was. But my money block was actually not being willing to look at the time that I actually succeeded. It's, again, I'm really good at focusing on all my failures, but can I focus on where I succeed and like bust that open more?
Well, see, and that's why, okay, so my first success was network marketing. And it happened so fucking fast.
Okay.
Like, I couldn't build leaders underneath of me to sustain the growth that was happening. I earned my free BMW in 60 days. I was traveling the States helping people.
Okay.
You know,
you got burnt out.
No, it's fun as fuck. It just, all I had to do was travel, close the room, go to the next one, close the room, go to the next one.
So
and
what happened?
Then the company started going under and I wasn't recruiting consistently on my own. I was relying on my team to do all the work and just closing their business instead of doing my own. But that's how I want it to be. Like, I want it to be easy. I want to be able to just show up in a room, close the room, and make money. That's it. Moving on to the next.
Well, I have a really good connection that I could give you if you're still interested, because she's actually building a team of network marketers. She's not aligned with a brand. She's just aligned with network marketers.
No, I don't. I'm in a direct marketing company now.
Okay.
But no, I don't want to do that route. But I'm saying that is the energy.
Okay, so then bring that energy in. You keep creating this, like, you're like, that's the energy I want, and then you create all this bullshit for why you can't live in that space.
I don't know how to create it outside of that. Like,
so then ask. You want all this help from outside people when you are a fucking dragon who is connected to source, who knows all the answers already. But you don't think that you're worth having all the answers. This is self-worth, plain and simple. Naked mirror mantras. I am energy, money is energy, money and I are the same. Because you know it on an intellectual level, but you do not fucking believe that. And everything that you believe in your bones, you believe it in your bones, but could never, like, ever push it far enough away for someone else to see the value of it. You want people to pay the fuck out of you for doing nothing. That's entitlement again.
Ugh. So how do I get to the bottom of this worth thing?
Listen to the dragon activation over and over and over and over again. The self-worth thing is
because all the
journey.
Accomplishments, like, all the
that's definitely not a one-call thing.
Are all like doing. They're not like just because of being in my presence or because I have.
Yeah, because you still need the masculine to do shit. That's the thing, is that Lorna's so good at separating us into a billion fucking pieces. Even our magic man we don't realize is us.
So this one girl that's in my beta test, she's been with me since the very beginning, since I started, my life was crumbling and I started spiritually awakening.
Mm-hmm.
And just randomly, like in conversations, I took her to a sound bowl thing that we did. And she told the lady, she's like, yeah, Allison's completely changed my life. I have no anxiety anymore. That was cool. Testimonial. And then just last weekend when we went, can you hear me?
Yeah.
And then just last weekend when we went to Kansas City, she's like, I really admire you. Like, I can't believe how long you've stuck with this thing with your business.
So is she a friend then?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
you've created a good boundary with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's like this, I don't know, like when I ask, I don't receive the testimonials, but when I listen, I hear them plain as day.
So then just realize you don't need to like ask permission to use those. That's something that's like super hard for people to understand, that they actually are capable of just sorry, you can just like use fucking letters or give them, if you put John Doe, because nobody on your website is going to know that they're anonymously listed because you use that's a victim mentality. Like, even my most recent client, I like congratulated her, and she's like, it would have been nice for confidentiality if you would have asked me first. I'm like, well, you just took my first test. And I didn't know it was my first test until she came back at me on Voxer all mad that I had posted her name. And I was like, you want to be a world famous person, you already use an alias, I had to get your other legal name for our documents, and you're mad that I put you on blast because you signed up to work with me. Interesting. And she's like, oh, fuck. Okay, yeah, self-worth. Yeah, let's figure that out then. But I didn't know. I didn't know. I was just posting because I thought that that's what you did when you got a new client. Does that make sense? Like, you don't know why you're doing it. And then all of a sudden you get the answer. You're like, oh, okay. That's really interesting that you care that I posted that.
Maybe it's something for me to unpack too, because I feel like it's a very personal, intimate journey. Like, I wouldn't want people to know that, like, I wouldn't want my coach to blast me.
Why?
Because it's mine. It's the only thing that is only mine. Like, I don't want the world to be a part of it. Like, it's my personal, intimate journey.
But it's not depending on what you're doing it for, though. You have to realize that the people that I'm working with are people that want to be world famous celebrities whose names are going to be in the newspaper, whether they want them there or not.
Yeah. And that's what I want. But the thing is, I want it separate. I want a personal life and I want.
Okay. Well, if you can figure that out, then good job. Especially in this day and age of the internet. That's, again, just self-worth again. It's another reason why I put naked photos of myself all over the internet, so that when I'm running for president and they say, we found naked photos, I can say, yeah, the photographer is Paul Dwayne. Do you want his information? Because I've already gone through that channel. Like, why do you care? Why does it matter? Why do you want it to be separate? Make sure there's an actual integrated reason. Because she gave me one. Like, confident. Like, I came back and I was like, yeah, absolutely. When it comes to the details of your journey, I will never mention even anything,
right,
unless I talk to you. But I am your coach who's helping you learn how to be put on blast. It
brings back the network marketing days, like, where it was very manipulative. It was disgusting.
Yeah. Well, I manipulated the fuck out of everyone by telling everybody that I opened my business at a 5-figure when I had booked 5 figures but only got 4 figures cash. My inbox was filled with people all of a sudden wanting to know, and then I crumbled because I was terrified because it didn't actually feel authentic to me.
Yeah.
But she had posted how I had launched my business at 5 figures.
God.
I didn't hit 5 figures until like earlier this month.
Because it's the whole lifestyle thing. Like, selling the lifestyle, like the money, the cars, everything. Like, I'm so turned off by that stuff now. Like, it's awesome to have it, but I don't need to flaunt it because it's not everything. It's just a fun thing I get to play with.
Yeah. So I say just listen to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to log off. I'm going to upload it. Once it's uploaded, listen to it again.
Okay.
And meditate, like channel. Set the intention, like light a candle, light some sage. Your intuition, if you mix around the words of intuition, for the most part, is also the word intention. They are very, like, my phone autocorrect slips them up all the time. Constantly. If I put the wrong letter in. So your intuition is your intention. Almost, like, you get to a point where they are the same because your intuition is always leading you to the next thing that's going to get you to your intention. So they have to be in sync. So if you set the intention that I'm going to channel, I'm setting the intention that my human brain is shutting off. I'm setting the intention that I am in complete knowing, and you start feeling that feeling in your body. You start doing your truth rant that gets you into that knowing, and then you press play and you listen to the audio, and then you press pause when we start talking again, and you just sit there. And whatever starts coming in, you've already set the intention that it is. You don't need to filter it. You don't need to ask it any questions. You just start writing. You're already working with Krista, who's taught you all these free writing things. So use this as a chance to free write. Set the intention. I'm learning how to channel. I'm using the tool that I already have in my toolbox of free writing to channel my brand, to channel, like set an intention, like channel my course, to channel whatever. Listen to the dragon activation and fucking start writing.
Got it.
That's your homework assignment.
Okay.
Okay. Sounds good. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.